This is Operation Breach the Peace. A brief assessment of this assignment is body language, deception, municipal ordinances, sound decibel meters, spiritual warfare, battleground movement, and the biblical stance on Romans 13.
3-15. Don't know what that is. It has nothing to do with that.
Excuse me 1 second.
Yeah, he messed up. Listen, I would advise you officers, your colleague, listen, don't say nothing. Sarge, don't say nothing. All right? Just don't say nothing. All right? Have nothing to do with what is going on right now.
Say nothing about what?
Just, you're doing good by standing here, being quiet, backing him up. I appreciate that. Just if you're going to include yourself into this, and you're going to be dragged in with him. I'm just letting you know.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but I'm just here.
Okay. All right. Just back him up like you do your colleague. I have no problem with that. I'm not telling you.
Christian?
Yes, I'm a follower of Christ. What I am going to do is, since he is not allowing me to move forward with what I'm doing, I'm going to pack up my stuff and I'm going to leave. But before I leave, I have to collect that summons that he said I was going to get.
I have no idea what the conversation was. I wasn't privy to it. I couldn't hear it, but I have no idea what you're talking about. But whatever you need to collect is fine with me.
So what he said before you showed up was that he basically asked for ID, right? He was like, give me your ID, give me your ID. I said, I will give you my ID unless I'm being pulled over, which I'm not in a motor vehicle, unless I'm being given a citation or I'm being arrested. I'll give you my ID. He said, what? He said that,
It is particularly noteworthy that the moment the watchman redirects his attention, he finds himself face to face with the very officer he has been delineating. This officer stands there in silent observation, meticulously absorbing every detail, undoubtedly preparing for the subsequent counter-argument he intends to present.
That none of them was happening, and then you said, all right, give me your ID, I'm giving you a summons, right? Is that what you said, sir?
No, that's what you said. You said I'm giving you a summons, and I just agreed with you.
Now you're lying. I'm waiting for my summons.
Listen, I'm just going to give you a warning for right now. I don't want to give you a summons. I want to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Who's your captain, sir?
We have two captains. I have Captain DeMoncada and Captain O'Reilly. However, I'm the senior law enforcement officer in Tenafly right now.
Okay. So who's at your station right now if I wanted to pay him a visit? You said you're giving me a summons. I'm waiting for that summons because that's what made me give you my ID as a lawful command.
I don't want to give you a summons, man. I don't want to have to give you a summons. Okay? What I want you to do is just stop the behavior, just give you a warning, and have you on your way.
Breach of peace does not say anything about what I'm doing. I'm just going to put this over here.
Go ahead.
I don't want you to get alarmed or anything like that.
Okay. You want to come to headquarters?
I'll have to.
And make a complaint? That's fine. You want to come to headquarters?
No, I never made a complaint against a law enforcement officer.
Okay.
I don't do that. That's low level stuff. I don't do that. Can't turn the speaker on. I can't do what I'm doing, right? Can I use my voice? But I speak loud. Just as loud as the speaker.
At this juncture, it is crucial to address a significant aspect of the video wherein the watchman articulates a request to utilize his voice. It is imperative for the viewer to understand that this request does not imply soliciting permission. As an ordained minister, the watchman possesses the inherent authority to preach the gospel, primarily through the use of his voice alone. What he is undertaking is an endeavor to sustain his ministry in the current location without an untimely departure. The foundational objective of the watchman is to issue warnings to the populace, disseminate the gospel, and encourage individuals to return to Christ. As we progress through the video, it is vital for the viewer to remain vigilant regarding the lieutenant's statements, as they may reflect an underlying strategy intended to undermine the ministry's efforts. It is noteworthy that the lieutenant operates under the influence of adverse forces, specifically that of the enemy, who we recognize as Satan. This scenario underscores the reality of spiritual warfare at play. Therefore, as we move forward, The watchman remains steadfast, yet prudent in his actions. It is essential to bear in mind that the watchman will exhaust all possible avenues before being compelled to vacate the premises.
Listen,
Yes or no?
I would, like I told you before, it's totally fine if you're in a public space. Not if you want to hand out flyers, that's okay, as long as you're not obstructing or harass anybody.
See, I can preach with my voice, right?
Correct.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay.
Okay. And if you get another call, what happens then?
3-4 to 3-2. I'm just gonna have an officer stay with you.
Okay.
He's waiting on another call.
Oh, he is? All right.
So you can have somebody babysit me?
Correct.
Why?
Because you're alarming the residents.
So I can't even use my voice if I wanted
You
to.
could use your voice. I'm not saying I'm just gonna keep an eye on you. That's it.
Okay. And I'll give you time.
Disregard.
That'll give you time to get your ordinance, your summons book, so I can get my ordinance or breach of peace.
Dude, I don't want to give you a ticket. I told you that several times. You're fighting to try to get it.
I'm not fighting to try to get it. You said that you was gonna give it to me. That's what made me give you my ID.
You told me you wanted to go back to headquarters. You want to talk to somebody? Go ahead, be my guest.
I actually changed my mind since you said I can use my voice. So I'm going to use my voice to deliver the message that God has sent me here to deliver, and then I'll be on my way. But I'm going to consult with someone.
I'm going to give
That's
you
a guarantee.
warning. If you breach the peace again or act disorderly in any way, you could be arrested. Do you understand that?
So now I'm under duress right now.
You're not under any duress.
Yes, I am.
No, you are not.
This is the exact moment where the watchman could not proceed forward with the ministry. This is under the threat of duress.
Duress is most often paired with the word under to refer to force or threats meant to make someone do something. For example, someone forced to sign a document signs it under duress, and a person held under duress is not free to leave, but is being constrained, usually unlawfully. Do not confuse being under duress with being under stress, which is a much more common occurrence. Duress is ultimately from Latin durus, meaning hard, source too of durable and endure. Also, duress refers to a situation where someone is forced to act against their will due to threats or coercion, often making their actions or agreements invalid. It can involve physical threats or psychological pressure that removes a person's ability to make free choices.
In light of the lieutenant's explicit threat regarding potential arrest should the watchman persist in his ministry, it has become imperative for the watchman to discontinue his activities, as he is no longer able to carry out his designated mission in the manner intended. This situation highlights a broader context of the lieutenant's deliberate efforts to undermine the ministry from its inception, which was initially referenced in the first part of this discourse. It is crucial to recognize that the lieutenant harbors a specific agenda, and we are now witnessing the manifestation of this agenda through what he just said. For clarity's sake, it is essential for the audience to grasp that communication can take many forms. The lieutenant is acutely aware that a direct confrontation, such as openly prohibiting the watchman from engaging in his ministry, expressing a dislike for the messages being conveyed, or suggesting that he vacates the premises, would not be permissible or effective lawfully. Consequently, the lieutenant resorts to more subtle and insidious tactics. By employing subliminal attacks, he effectively aims to compel the watchman to withdraw voluntarily without the need for overt confrontation. For instance, if an individual wishes to remove someone from a certain location, but understands that outright verbal expressions of such intent would be inappropriate, that individual might instead create an environment so fraught with challenges and discomfort that the target ultimately decides to leave on their own terms. This strategy of indirect coercion is precisely what the lieutenant is currently executing, thereby further advancing the agenda he initially set forth against the watchman.
Now I'm afraid that if I use my voice and I'm loud enough where it breaches the peace, you said you're going to arrest me. So now I can't even use my voice.
I'm warning you. You could.
You are.
The way that you're talking.
But I don't speak like this when I'm talking.
The way that we're talking right now is perfectly fine. We're having a conversational.
But I don't speak like this when I'm preaching the word.
Hold on 1 second. I just really
No problem.
I just want to.
So you guys have better things to do than to sit here and talk to me.
Can you do me a favor?
No, I'm going to leave.
We have a high school graduation tonight. We have a bunch of
No
things
problem.
going
I'm
on,
gonna leave.
and we're going to keep on getting calls. So please,
I'm going to leave because you said if I breach the peace again, you're going to arrest me. So I cannot use this speaker. I can't use my voice.
You're going to leave?
Yes, I'm going to leave.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem.
All right. You need anything?
Yes, the summons that you said that I was going to get.
Listen, I'm giving you a warning. Please, I don't want to give you a summons. I don't want you to be fined. I don't want you to have to pay money. Okay, please, just a warning, and you're on your way. We're good. All right? Come on. Let's make it nice and easy. You're leaving? I'll see you later.
Hold on for a second. They still here. Hold on. You guys can narrate at the end. Hold on, stand by. The camera's still on. Hold on. So let it be known for the tape. I can't use my voice because he says if I breach the peace again, I will be arrested. I looked at the breach of peace ordinance. It says nothing about what I'm doing, but yet he threatened to arrest me if I breach the peace again, which he easily said that I did. So I'm going to leave under duress. I expelled his RAS. Any alarms that any citizens may have, I expelled that. I took a decibel reading at 43 feet, and at 43 feet it was at 63 decibels. Yeah, and I was trying to advise the sergeant that if, not to say anything, because it's gonna jam him up. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully he don't get burnt by what the lieutenant did. But they just want my name to document, to create some sort of profile upon me. So I'm going to leave, but best believe I'm going to leave. And that's all I'm going to say for the tape. All officers have left the area. It's just me here in the tape.